This is the Fredericksburg Neighbors Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Dory Stewart.
Welcome back to another episode of the FXBG Neighbors Podcast, where we share the stories of our favorite local brands. I'm excited to introduce you to my guest today. We have Marcus Toler joining us with Big Day Productions. Marcus, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thanks for having me, Dory.
Well, I'm excited to dive in and learn more about you and your business. So let's start there. Share with us a little bit about Big Day Productions.
Yeah, so Big Day Productions is a wedding and event company. We bring energy with DJs, photo booths, unique events. The goal is to make every event unforgettable.
Nice. So tell us about your journey. How did you get into this?
Well, so it's funny, I always tell everybody back in 2005 in my 20s, like when I was partying and, going out and stuff, I woke up one morning and I was like, man, I want to throw parties and just be a DJ. Like that looks like a lot of fun. And I'm just one of those people, like when I come up with something, I'm like, all right, let's just do it. Let's figure it out. So started DJing around, dive bars around Fredericksburg. Like I didn't even care about the money back then. It's like, can I get a couple beers, a couple dollars? And it grew. And then that was 2005, 2006, I launched a beer pong company with some Mary Wash kids. Well, not with them, but they brought the idea to me and I kind of capitalized on it. Did that all the way up till COVID. And along the way, I had a local mentor that was in the event space. And she was like, you got this high energy, you're younger. We need this in the wedding space. We need this like in, the corporate and all that. And I was like, man, I don't know. And then she told me how much the money difference was. And I was like, you know what? I think I do need to jump into this. So there we go. And then we shifted gears, started building out Big Day Productions. Here we are.
Nice. So do you find that there are any misconceptions when it comes to either your business or the industry?
Yeah, definitely. I get the people will make comments like, like sometimes you'll do an event where the people are just not a lively bunch. They don't dance, or dry weddings are always the ones where everybody just kind of hangs out because there's no alcohol to get them to let loose. And, people will be like, where are you getting paid regardless? So you're good, right? And I'm like, it's not about the money. It's about, I'm there for the fun too. Like I joke with people all the time. I'm like, the crowd entertains me just as much as I entertain them. It's not just about the music. I'll jump on calls with people that are trying to save money and cut corners on weddings, especially. And I'm like, well, hopefully this is the only time you're ever getting married. Don't you want to make this unforgettable? It's like, it's more than just press and play. Like a good DJ will sit down with the client and really figure out what they want, what kind of music they like, and just have it all together walking into the room.
And I imagine along the way you have learned tips and tricks of how to get the fun going.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, your line dances and all these things are always going to do it. There's like those go-to things, go-to music that just works every time. And it's funny because a lot of DJs get in their head and they're like, man, I don't want to play the same stuff all the time. I'm so sick of hearing the Cupid Shuffle. And I'm like, I remind like my younger DJs, like I've mentored a lot of guys coming up in the game. And I'm like, look, guys, it's not about us. We're not here for us. We're here for someone's special day.
Yeah.
I just try to make it all about them.
Yeah. So speaking of fun, when you're not working, because I know you work hard, what are you doing for fun?
I do. I mean, music's still fun for me. Like as I'm getting older, I've really started like taking time out to go to concerts and see like those old school groups, the people that we grew up on. Like I just see Nelly and Ja Rule a couple weeks ago, and like, stuff that I didn't get to do when I was younger. I'm like, all right, let me go see some of these people because they're all like on reunion tours and stuff, festivals, exploring Northern Virginia and DC. I'm a country boy, grew up in West Virginia, so there's so much out here that I haven't seen yet. And I tell everybody like being an entrepreneur is fun to me. Like I really enjoy being an entrepreneur. I got my marketing company. I just started my nonprofit. So like people are like, man, you work a lot. And I'm like, it goes back to the old saying, like when you're having fun, it doesn't feel like work. And I'm sure you can relate. You've been an entrepreneur for a while.
Yeah. 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 You kind of have to figure out how to make your work fun,
Yeah.
and making the best out of it
Yep.
and creating that environment for yourself.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, it's like if it's not fun, I might as well just go get a job. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's like, what's the point of being an entrepreneur if you're not going to enjoy it?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Can you describe a challenge or a hardship that you have been through, and now that you're on the other side of it, you can say you're stronger because of it?
Yeah. I think for me, it kind of started. I got my daughter in eighth when she was in eighth grade, full time, single dad. And at this time, my beer pong company was booming. I mean, we had events from Fredericksburg to DC to Northern Virginia to Maryland. I had, 5, 6 DJs. Like I was DJing 5, 6 nights a week. And it was one of those things where I was like, all right, I got an eighth grade daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I can't leave her at home. I got to be here and be a dad. So I had to start pulling back all that stuff, which, obviously affected money. And I had to lean into the marketing side of things. And luckily, a lot of my venues already trusted me because I'd already done so much. I started doubling down into the marketing company and, invested in a coach. I always tell everybody like it seems expensive, but it's worth it. Learned
Mm-hmm.
how to do CRMs and automations and just really rebuilt everything. But yeah, it was definitely hard because COVID just everybody knows with that. But the good thing about COVID, like in the digital space, I think it helped a lot. I think
Mm-hmm.
it helped. I think it helped us grow in the digital space. I
Yeah.
remember days where if I would have said meet me on Zoom, people would have been like, "No, you're gonna have to come see me."
Right.
Now people are. If I say, "Hey, you want to meet?" and they're like, "Well, yeah, we can meet on Zoom, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Versus having to drive to Northern Virginia from Fredericksburg to waste half of my day for a 30-minute conversation that
Right.
we could have just jumped on video and did. So, you know, but yeah.
So you mentioned that advice that you give is to hire a business coach or entrepreneurship coach. So what other advice would you give a new entrepreneur?
I mean, definitely focus on what you're really good at and try to find people to help you with the things you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I know that's hard. We all struggle with that, like the money side of it, because hiring people to do things are not cheap. You get what you pay for. It's always been that.
Mm-hmm.
But really double down on learning for people in your industry. I see a lot of times like we all feel like we're in competition with each other. And we're really not because everybody's got different skill sets, everybody's got different goals. Really take time to go out and build relationships with people in your industry. Doesn't necessarily have to, like in the event space, I don't necessarily have to go build a relationship with another DJ. It could be a photographer, it could be an event venue, anybody, just building relationships with people that do similar things and learn from them. Like, hey, what are you doing that's working? What are you seeing that's, could be better, things like that. But yeah, just learn and adapt and build. And now with all this AI stuff, it's like a game changer. A lot of people are struggling with that too because they're in their head about the whole AI thing. I don't want to give my information to AI and all the things. And I'm like, dude, the first time we got a smartphone, we gave up all of our info. Like we're as the kids
Right.
say, we're cooked. We're
Yeah.
done. Our info's out there. So just lean into it. Lean into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Really good advice. And really leaning on relationships. Not everybody is for you. Like you said,
Right.
everybody has a different skill set. And you're going to be a better um, business owner for it because you're going to be able to refer out good people that you trust for
Yep.
things that maybe you don't have the capacity to serve. So I love that
Yep.
you said that.
Well, and talking about referrals, like I'm learning that like we all get caught up in the me phase where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
what can you do for me? What can you do for me? But I've learned as I've got deeper into networking and stuff like that. Like I'm trying to like take myself out of the equation now. And I'm like, well, what about you? Tell me about you. What can I do for
Mm-hmm.
you? Because there's
Yeah.
always someone in my circle that I can refer somewhere else. And I think if we start with what can I do for the other person first mentality, then they're going to remember that. First time they hear somebody that wants a DJ, they're going to be like, hey, I sat down at a networking event today. Somebody I've known for like 10 years, never sent me a referral or nothing. And she's like, hey, me and my husband are having this really cool anniversary party, and you have to be the one to come and do the whole thing. And I'm like, awesome. Never got a referral from her. She was an artist. So you just never know. But just being on top of people's mind, like, oh, they do this, they do that. So
the service first mentality. I love it.
That's right. That's right. Well, and I think that it goes for everything. That's my thing with starting the nonprofit, is like, what can I do to give back and help grow the community? Because I'm one of those people where it's like, the more good I do, the more I'm gonna get back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. So what is something that you wish the listeners knew about Big Day Productions?
So we're more than just DJs and photo booths. Like, I am that guy. You get on the phone with me, I'm going to, help you figure out everything. People will be like, well, do you know who does tables and chairs and cloths? I'm like, yeah, everybody. People always like, why don't you just be the event planner? And I'm like, the DJ is kind of the event planner. I come, and brides are always like, well, how do we figure this out? I'm like, I got this really cool worksheet. I'm gonna give it to you. It's gonna walk you through your whole day. It ends up being the master timeline. A lot of times the photographer will be like, oh yeah, let me just get a copy of yours because yours is better than mine. Nice. And again, it goes back to the DJ sets the whole tone for your wedding or your event. You need it. You know what I mean? And sometimes, like, even at these corporate events where ain't nobody dancing or nothing, I do the Realtor Expo every year here in Fredericksburg, and it's really boring. But I still play high energy music at a really low volume. And the realtors that come up to me all the time and they're like, oh my God, you played the best music. And I'm like, you could hear it. Just, you know what I mean? Like those little things, because we're there for like 8 hours and they're thankful that there was some good music playing in the background.
Yeah. Nice. So if the listeners want to connect with you or hire you, where can they find you?
So bigdayproductions.biz, not .com, because here's another trick for entrepreneurs: check for your URLs before you start. I did not when I was young. So anyway, bigdayproductions.biz. You can email me at info@bigdayproductions.biz, or you can just look me up personally on Facebook, Marcus Toler.
Amazing. Marcus, thank you so much for joining me today on the podcast.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Fredericksburg Neighbors Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to fxbgneighborspodcast.com.